There's a condition that affects millions of people around the world, and most of them don't even realize it's happening. No pain, no warning signs, no clear symptoms, and yet, slowly, quietly, something begins to change within the body. You can feel completely fine, while beneath the surface, your internal balance is shifting. And what's happening beneath that surface may surprise you. Welcome to Auralith Wellness, a space where we explore calm, natural ways to restore balance and support your health. And by the end of this video, you may begin to see how even small, consistent choices can gently reshape this process. To understand what we often call bad cholesterol, we need to look a little deeper, because cholesterol in itself is not the enemy. In fact, your body depends on it. It plays a role in building your cells, producing essential hormones like estrogen and testosterone, and even helping your body create vitamin D. At first, this system works in harmony, quietly supporting your body every day. But over time, something can begin to shift. Cholesterol doesn't move through your bloodstream on its own. It travels through carriers. One of these is called LDL, low-density lipoprotein, and this is what we refer to as bad cholesterol. Another is HDL, high-density lipoprotein, often described as the good kind. But here's where things quietly start to change. LDL acts like a delivery system, carrying cholesterol to where your body needs it. HDL, on the other hand, works more like a cleanup system, helping remove excess cholesterol from your bloodstream. And for a while, this balance is maintained effortlessly. But when LDL levels become too high or remain elevated over time, it doesn't simply pass through harmlessly. Instead, it begins to settle. Along the inner walls of your arteries, tiny particles start to accumulate. At first, it's barely noticeable, but gradually, this buildup triggers a response in the body. Inflammation begins, and over time, this leads to the formation of plaque. And this is where things become more serious, because as these plaques grow, they begin to narrow the pathways your blood relies on. The surprising part is most people never feel this happening. There's no signal, no immediate discomfort, and by the time it's discovered, it may have been developing silently for years. As blood flow becomes more restricted, your heart has to work harder. Pressure increases, and over time, this can raise the risk of conditions like heart disease or stroke. Not suddenly, but gradually, quietly, and often unnoticed. So how does this begin? In most cases, it's not caused by one single factor. It's the result of small, everyday patterns. Things that seem harmless on their own, a diet high in processed foods, long periods of inactivity, chronic stress, smoking, or even genetic predisposition. None of these habits seem dangerous by themselves, but together, over time, they begin to shape your internal environment. And this is something most people don't notice until much later. But here's the encouraging part. Your body is not passive in this process. It is constantly adapting, responding, recalibrating, and with the right support, it can begin to restore balance. In a moment, we'll explore how simple, natural changes can influence this process more than you might expect. Let's start with something surprisingly powerful: food. What you eat each day does more than provide energy. It actively interacts with your internal systems. One of the most important elements here is fiber, specifically soluble fiber. It works almost like a sponge within your digestive system, binding to cholesterol and helping remove it before it enters your bloodstream. Foods like oats, lentils, apples, and citrus fruits can gently support this process over time. One of the simplest changes is also one of the most powerful. And then there are fats, often misunderstood, but not all fats are the same. And this is where many people unknowingly go wrong. Some fats, particularly trans fats and highly processed oils, can increase LDL levels and disrupt balance. But others are essential. Healthy fats, like those found in olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish, can actually support your body. They help reduce harmful cholesterol while maintaining the protective HDL. Not all fats are the enemy. In fact, some are part of the solution. The key isn't removing, but replacing. Now consider movement. Your body was designed for it. And your cardiovascular system responds to it almost immediately. Even moderate activity like walking, swimming, or cycling can begin to increase HDL levels while improving how your body processes fats. You don't need intensity, you need consistency. Even small actions, repeated daily, begin to shift this balance. And over time, these shifts compound. Then there's weight, specifically internal balance. Excess body fat, especially around the abdomen, can influence how your body regulates cholesterol. But what's interesting is, even a small change can make a measurable difference. Losing just 5 to 10% of body weight has been shown to significantly improve cholesterol levels, not through extremes, but through steady, sustainable changes. At the same time, it helps to become aware of what may be working against you. Some of the biggest contributors to high LDL are hiding in plain sight. Trans fats, often found in processed and fried foods, are among the most harmful. They raise LDL while lowering the protective HDL. Excess sugar is another, and one of the most overlooked. It contributes to weight gain, raises triglycerides, and disrupts metabolic balance. And ultra-processed foods combine many of these factors into one. If there's one simple guideline, it's this. The more complex the ingredient list, the more cautious you may want to be. There are also smaller additions that can quietly support your progress. Plant sterols found in certain fortified foods can help block cholesterol absorption. Green tea provides antioxidants that support cardiovascular health. Garlic, though subtle, has been linked to modest reductions in LDL, often overlooked but surprisingly impactful. And then there's something less visible. Stress. Chronic stress affects your hormonal balance, particularly cortisol. And over time, this can influence heart health in indirect but meaningful ways. Slowing down, breathing more deeply, creating space for rest. These are not luxuries. They are part of the process. And this is important to understand. Natural approaches can be incredibly effective, especially when applied consistently. But they are not a replacement in every situation. For some individuals, particularly where genetics are involved, medical support may also be necessary. This is not about choosing one over the other. It's about building a strong foundation and supporting your body in every way available. Because your health is shaped quietly, day by day, choice by choice. What you eat, how you move, how you respond to stress. These things may seem small in the moment, but over time, they define your well-being. In the same way imbalance develops, slowly, gradually, silently, is the same way healing begins. If this brought you a sense of clarity, know that there is always more to explore. Subscribe to Aurolith Wellness for more reflections on natural health, balance, and mindful living. Because true well-being is not something you chase, it's something you cultivate, one quiet choice at a time.